Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Feels like it might look like we've entered into the Brahma Jyoti. And that might be because, actually the sun is directly behind us. I hadn't thought about that, but now it looks like the sun is going behind the cloud. So anyway, it's another nice day out, so we're trying to make the most of it. Come outside and do some reading. So where are we?
Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 19.
I'm not sure if that's picking it up all the way over there.
Oh dear, I'll put it here then.
So where are we again?
Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 19.
Okay. Okay, so Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 19. Lord Shiva continued. If one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative, for such grief continues to rend one's heart day and night. How true is that?
Seems pretty true.
Purport. Sati might have concluded that she would take the risk of going to her father's house, and even if her father spoke unkindly against her, she would be tolerant. This is what I'm going to tolerate these areas. Oh my days. As the son sometimes tolerates the reproaches of his parents, but Lord Shiva reminded her that she would not be able to tolerate such unkind words because natural psychology dictates that although one can suffer harm from an enemy and not mind so much because pain inflicted by an enemy is natural, when one is hurt by the strong words of a relative, one suffers the effects continually day and night, and sometimes the injury becomes so intolerable that one commits suicide.
Hare Krishna.
Painful.
It's heavy, but true.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point because you expect from an enemy or someone who's not so, nice to you. If anything, if that person who's your enemy or whatever said something nice, you fall over because you're shocked. And you think, well, what are they up to?
What are they up to?
But it's true, because actually when you have someone who's a relative or a friend and someone's like you have affection for, then the heart chakra is actually vulnerable because it's exposed. Therefore, these people have access to it and they can do the most damage. Whereas with an enemy or whatnot, that heart chakra is not going to be accessible. So they can do words. You know they say words can hurt me. No. What do they say?
They say actions speak louder than words.
No.
And they say
sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Which kind of defeats the point of that.
No, it complements it. The point being that they can say what they want. They don't get into the heart chakra, the enemy.
That's
what I'm saying.
That's what should be the truth. But what is the truth is what the Bhagavatam says. Is that what you're saying?
No. What are you saying? The enemy as...
You just said that words can't actually hurt us. Correct? You out there, if you heard her say that words can't hurt me, but the Bhagavatam is saying that words can hurt and do hurt and can even cause someone to commit suicide. But I think what she's trying to say, even though she doesn't know it, because she don't know what she's saying, is that we should be immune to the words. And that's what Sati is trying to say is going to happen. And this is Sati, the wife of Lord Shiva, the goddess of material energy, my wife is now hiding behind her book because of my words, which I'll certainly pay for later.
All right, moving on.
I want to move this because it seems so bright. I think it's. You mind if I try?
All right.
Okay, so everyone bear with us for one moment. Just going to try to move the camera a little bit high. I'm going to try to move it over this way. See if we get a better picture.
All right, lovely. I'm sorry about this.
Sorry, yeah.
All right, just trying to read. No one's really watching this like it's a TV, for heaven's sake. You must be making your dinner or you know, doing your hair or something.
People don't do their hair. I don't have to do my hair.
Well, you're watching it like it's a Morecambe and Wise show. Put a comment below if you remember the Morecambe and Wise show.
Okay. I definitely don't.
Don't ya?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, carry on. So.
Alright, text 20.
No, wait a minute. Were you done saying what you were saying?
Yeah.
Because no one understood what you were saying.
Everyone understood.
Look at this big bumblebee coming over here.
Well, let's move on.
Okay, text 20. My dear white complexioned wife.
Oh.
Okay, so Lord Shiva had a white wife. It is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet. Yet, you will not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me. So, this is an very interesting point. Purport. Yes, and it's interesting that it's being pointed out that she was white complexioned. Of course, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, sometimes the Parvati and Shiva are represented, you know, by the like
Yin
a
and
yin
yang.
and yang, and then he's the black and she's the white. And then they have a white dot in the black and a black dot in the white. Sometimes they reflect their projected.
Never seen that, but probably.
Really?
No, some of you probably have. Okay.
Let me know if you have.
Okay. So the purport. Lord Shiva put forward the argument that even if Sati proposed to go alone without...
There's a massive queen bee.
It's
oh
not
my
a queen,
God.
it's a simple bumblebee. It's all right.
Oh my God.
But because you are like a pretty flower, he
Oh
may
my
come
God.
over.
Oh.
This is like the bumblebee that Radharani spoke to.
I don't think so. I'm like...
No, just calm down. Take deep breaths and be... It's okay. Even if he lands on you, he's not going to sting you. Lord Shiva put forward the argument that even if Sati proposed to go alone without her husband, still she would not be received well because she was his wife. There was every chance of a catastrophe, even if she wanted to go alone. Therefore, Lord Shiva indirectly requested her not to go to her father's house. So when I read this, it's just the classic case that all of us have had experience where we have a friend, a relative, or a loved one that we can see what is going to happen. You can see it plain as day, and the person that's your friend or loved one, they kind of see it, but they're just blinded by something else, and you're standing there saying to them, look, mate, it's just not going to work out the way that you think. Better you just, knock it on the head, skip it, don't do it. But you know how hard, and maybe we've been on the other side of that also, where people have been telling us, and we're like, why don't you mind your own business? Forget you. You don't know. You're not the all-knowing oracle. But we're going to see what actually manifests here, and if Lord Shiva was correct in his trying to, because he's trying to give some advice. Look, my dear white complexioned wife, best that you don't go there, just
don't go there.
Just don't go there. Stay here. Anyhow. 21.
All right. Text 21. One who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed both mentally and sensually cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized persons. Being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The real reason for the enmity between Lord Shiva and Daksha is explained here. Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva because of Shiva's high position as an incarnation of a quality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because Shiva was directly in contact with the Supersoul, and was therefore honoured and given a better sitting place than he. There were many other reasons also. Daksha, being materially puffed up, could not tolerate the high position of Lord Shiva. So his anger at Lord Shiva's not standing up in his presence was only the final manifestation of his envy. Lord Shiva is always in meditation and always perceives the Supersoul as expressed here by the words Purusha Buddhi Saksinam. The position of one whose intelligence is always absorbed in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very great and cannot be imitated by anyone, especially an ordinary person. When Daksha entered the arena of Yajna, Lord Shiva was in meditation and might not have seen Daksha enter, but Daksha took the opportunity to curse him because Daksha had maintained an envious attitude towards Lord Shiva for a long time. Those who are actually self-realized see every individual body as a temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Paramatma feature is residing in everyone's body. So essentially it's envy. And as we can see, we haven't come to it in the Bhagavatam yet, but a father can be envious of his son, meaning Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj, to the point where he wants to kill him. And in this case, the father-in-law is envious of his son-in-law, who should be like a son, as it were, taking care of his daughter. And this quality of envy is very corrosive, and it's like poison, because it pervades us, and it just
eats away at us. That's how it's corrosive. And it corrodes.
It becomes like your association is contaminating, because our thoughts, our words. So in this case, instead of being proud of having such a high position son-in-law, as it were, learned, meditating, the Daksha's, this quality of envy. It's like if you wash a pot and then there's a little bit stuck on it, just a little bit, but you keep using the pot because you don't wash your pots properly, so that little bit always remains. Eventually it starts to rust, or it just starts to rot, if that makes sense, and you keep cooking with it, so it gets burnt, and what is that? And it's really hard, you've got to scrub it off properly. So this is envy. It's like a little bit, but it just ruins your whole being.
I was thinking how it's interesting that it's being pointed out here that Lord Shiva not standing up for Daksha wasn't the cause of his upset. It was actually the final straw, or as they say, the straw that broke the camel's back. There was already a pile of upset inside of Daksha that he had been carrying around, year on year, and now this was the final thing that just, as soon as that happened, it just all kind of came out. And we all have experience with this, I think, either in our own selves or we see it in others. But the point being that we just harbor things inside of us, and then someone says, pass the salt, or excuse me, do you mind if I do this? And then all of a sudden, boom, and it all comes out. It's like a volcanic eruption. So like that. So we'll read the rest of the purport. When one offers respect to the body, it is not to the material body, but to the presence of the Supreme Lord. Thus, one who is always in meditation upon the Supreme Lord is always offering him obeisances. But since Daksha was not very elevated, he thought that obeisances were offered to the material body. And because Lord Shiva did not offer respect to his material body, Daksha became envious. Such persons, being unable to rise to the standard of self-realized souls like Lord Shiva, are always envious. The example given here is very suitable. Asuras, demons, or atheists are always envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They simply want to kill him. Even in this age, we find some so-called scholars commenting on Bhagavad Gita who are envious of Krishna. When Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Bhakta, Bhagavad Gita 1865, always think of me, become my devotee, and surrender unto me, the so-called scholars comment that it is not to Krishna that we have to surrender. That is envy. The asuras or atheists, the demons, without reason or cause, are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, instead of offering respect to self-realized persons, foolish men who cannot approach the highest standard of self-realization are always envious, although there is no reason. Interesting. So, I mean, there must be, I guess, an original reason, but seems that there's no apparent reason. They just don't appreciate authority, don't appreciate the Lord. So like that, Prabhupada's main point here seems to be how that envy also manifests against the Lord in the hearts and minds of those who are atheistic. You know, that actually their atheism is driven by envy of God because they want to be God, but they're not God, and so they're therefore envious of God, like that.
Nice point to a learning point about when we offer respects.
Yeah, good point.
It's not to the body, but it's the super soul within the body, because the body is housing or containing the Supreme Lord. So if we always remember that, it's actually a nice way to remove envy from our lives, because everyone has ups and downs, and people we gel with and people we don't click with, and issues and this. There's no need to pretend we're all the jolly soldier or something.
The jolly soldier?
No, the jolly green giant, sorry.
A jolly green giant, okay.
But yeah, so it's a nice meditation that, okay, walking, if you go, I don't mean in specific, well, it could be any walk of life, but let's say in the temple, you don't want to have those feelings, so at least I'm going to pay my respects to them anyway, because I'm paying my respect to the super soul. But how that would break down tension and animosity, because regardless of how most people would be quite, and it would be like, because when someone's being humble, and even if it doesn't, that's okay, that's their stuff and their heart chakra's going through stuff, but you are you're setting yourself up in a good position mentally and not taking unnecessary grief on yourself. And what a wonderful example for devotees around you to see that. So that's a good meditation, I thought, and learning point that, yeah, we pay, because Prabhupada said even if you see sannyasis and that from other movements or branches, as it were, you still pay your respects. You don't disrespect them, you don't listen to them, you don't go and take from them, as it were, knowledge or whatever, but you still pay your respects. So like that. So what to speak of your fellow friends or not.
Okay, so I think we'll conclude here and pick up next time with text 23. So remember, guard your heart chakra.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. Please, please, please read the Bhagavatam and share it with others, and let us know if you want a copy or if you want to do a Bhagavatam reading with us. And also you can like,
comment,
subscribe,
and share.
Yay!